Okay, guys, so let's look at question 5, which is our last question for the review. Keep in mind that if you guys are confused with any of this material, make sure you visit your manager session before completing this test. So let's look at question 5. It says, here is quadrilateral ABCD. Quadrilateral PQRS is a scale copy of quadrilateral ABCD. Point P corresponds to point A. Q corresponds to B. R corresponds to C. S to D. They say if the distance from P to R is 3 units, then what's the distance between Q and S? So before we even look at this picture or look at this, start answering, I need to figure out what this question is asking me to see what material I need. So this question is right here, and what I'm going to do is circle my question, and it wants me to explain my reasoning. Now, with these type of questions, you have to pay attention to what it's really asking, okay? Sometimes it say explain or show your reasoning, which when you have to show your reasoning, you could just leave your math work there and so on, just as long as it's clear. But it wants you to explain your reasoning. It wants you to provide your answer in sentence form. Okay, so let's dive in. So first thing I notice about this question is I don't see quadrilateral PQRS. It's not there. Okay, I only see quadrilateral ABC. So I'm going to highlight that because that's important. Okay. So I need to write down all the parts or the points that it corresponds to. So I'm going to put a chart. And I'm going to write this down. Why? Because sometimes looking at all those letters can be overwhelming. So I'm going to organize my notes to the side. Remember, this is your assessment. You have to do what you have to do to get the right answer. So don't feel like, oh, this is way too much. No, I'm an adult. I need to organize all those letters to see, make it be more clearer. So in lesson 2, we talked about points and line segments that correspond with each other. So if you don't know what that word corresponds mean, make sure you visit lesson 2. But point P would correspond with point A. Then it says Q will correspond with point B. R will correspond to C, and S to D. Okay, what I did was I just organized it so I could see it clearer, okay, because this information was important. So, but in the question, there's also some information that's important too. It says P to R is 3 units. So when I look at my chart that I made, P to R would be like from A to C. So let me circle that for you guys so you can see. P to R would be like from A to C. So I'm going to go to my quadrilateral on the grid. And remember, anytime I see a grid in a math question, it's either there for me to plot something, draw something, or to measure something. And for this question, it's used as a tool of measurement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count. Remember, 1 whole unit would be 1 whole squared. We don't start counting from 1, we start counting from 0. So it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the line segment or the distance between A and C is 6 units, which means P to R, just let me erase that and stop being lazy. But P to R is 3 units. So if they're saying all the points correspond to each other, we can assume that these quadrilaterals are scale copies to each other. So if they're scale copies to each other, what was 6 being multiplied by in order to make PR smaller? Or you could think, what was 6 divided by? If you guess that 6 was divided by 2 or multiplied by 1/2 to get to 3 units, you are absolutely correct. So now it wants me to find the distance between Q and S. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look on my graph, Q to S, and Q to S corresponds with B to D. So I need to count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to double count that again. So just to make sure I'm right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, we already did the math work for if it was 6, it'll be 3 units. So I know that my answer is 3 units. So I need to answer this the correct way. So let me get my choice and let me start writing. They said, explain your reasoning. I could put the distance from, and what I'm using is this, like, I'm using this, the end of the question as like a writing prompt. So the distance from Q to S would be 3 units. How do you know it's 3 units? You could put that the distance from Q to S corresponds, and if you don't know how to spell corresponds, it's right here, corresponds to the distance between B and D. Okay. And you could say that if all the points are if quadrilateral, which I know some of you guys are not writers, so you're just like, whoa, this is a lot. But if quadrilateral, PQRS is a scale copy of quadrilateral ABC, then the scale factor or it's not scaled, but the scale factor would be 1/2. Okay? I multiply, and then you can put I multiply the scale factor times the distance between P and Q, and I was able to get 3 units, and so on. I know this may seem a lot, guys, but this year we're really working hard between developing our skills with answering type 3 questions or constructive response questions on this LEAP test, because that's where the points are at. So just keep in mind that if you have any questions, guys, make sure you visit your manager's session, your manager's Google Meet session, okay? And remember, you have about 3 days to take this test, so Not saying there's a rush, right? But make you have some time, okay? So good luck, guys.